Hello, Project MoshPit viewers. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Roscoe1337, and I obviously enjoy playing Pokemon by the looks of this video. I don't mind sprouting out to the different tiers of Pokemon, but OU is definitely my favorite tier because I see it as the most competitive. Anyways, I'd like to thank DMAC for allowing me to upload a video for you guys. Enough of the small talk, though. I got a battle here against a really good friend of mine from YouTube, PokeaimMD or Joey, as I know him. I know a lot of you guys definitely know him. He's definitely a good battler, someone you would like to see in your sub box if you like a diversity of different types of battles. Anyways, let's go to the team preview. I'm running the standard sand team. There's not really a whole lot to say about my team, so I'll just go straight to my opponent's team. He's running the variation of Stunt's Hail team. If you play on the Pokemon Online Smogon server often, you'll see Stunt using the Hail team quite similar to this, but Joey made a few changes to make this team to his own liking, such as the Skarmory, the Gastrodon, just a few things to put it to his own liking. I guess I can say a few things about my team. It's standard sand pretty much. Got the T-Tar for the Stellar Rocks, obviously. Got Gliscor as my physical wall. Terrakion as my Scarfer. Latios is my heavy hitter. I've got Rotom to just to burn things and pretty much scout out for things. And I got my Ferrothorn for spike stacking and take some hits. So let's get right into this battle. My opponent is going to lead with his Abomasnow, and I'm going to lead Latios because I saw Latios as the best lead by looking at the team preview because I knew this thing I was pretty sure this thing wasn't Scarf. So I'm just going to go for the Draco meter because not a whole lot on his team wants to take it. So right here, I go out into Rotom because I was predicting a Skarmory because that's the best thing he really has to take a Volt Switch. But he goes into Gastrodon, so if he predicted my Rotom, that's a really good double switch on his end. So I really can't do a whole lot, obviously, because Gastrodon pretty much walls Rotom for days unless it has HP Grass. So I'm just going to go into my Ferrothorn here because I know I can scare him out with the fear of the Power Whip. Or I can just Leech Seed him. He can't really do a whole lot to me in return except try to burn me with a Scald. So he is going to switch out and he's going to go into his Tentacruel. So I'm just going to go for the Power Whip because Tentacruel can be a real annoyance at times. And I really just want to get this thing low on HP because its leftovers are negated by the Hail. So he's going to lay off some Toxic Spikes right here. I usually would set up hazards on this thing, but I'm just going to go for another Power Whip just to get some damage off on this thing because Tentacruel is a real annoyance at times. So he lays up his first layer, and now he's going to switch out here, and he's going to go into his Chandelier. And I predict that quite nicely because I was pretty sure he was going to switch into something. And I'm knowing that this is a variation of Stun's team, I'm pretty sure that this is a sub Chandelier because I see the leftovers. So definitely good to get some Leech Seed on that and cripple it. So I know he's definitely going to switch out this turn. And he's going to go into his Mamoswine. And I'm going to switch out because I don't want my Ferrothorn to quite die yet to a Fire Blast or a Flamethrower, Overheat, whatever fire move Shandari wants to throw at me. So he goes into Mamoswine, which is another good double switch on his part. So I got to switch out here. I was pretty sure he was Stellar Rock, but I mean, I don't really see a reason to risk anything because I have a safe switch in my Rotom Wash. And he goes into his Abomasnow this turn, which I do predict, and I go for the Will-O-Wisp just to get some residual damage on this thing. And it does negate its leftovers, which that's always pretty helpful, right? So I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch here because, as you all know, Rotom Wash can't really do anything to Abomasnow. So I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn here, and he predicts that again, so I really got my back against the wall right now. I'm really getting predicted every turn, and I have no hazards up, so things are looking pretty bad for me right now. Things are looking really good for my opponent. So now I'm just going to go for a layer of spikes here, because I pretty much want to force him to spin, so he'll only have one layer of toxic spikes up. Because I do have a Terrakion, I don't want that thing getting worn down by two layers of toxic spikes. So he goes for the rapid spin and I go for the power whip. So that kind of went out as planned. So he's got a layer of spikes and a layer of toxic spikes and a layer of stellar rocks, obviously. So I'm going to switch out and I'm going to go right back into my Rotom against this Mamoswine. And he goes for the Earthquake. I'm thinking he's either Focus Sash or Life Orb. I'm not really too sure yet. But I know he's going to switch out into his Gastrodon. So I just go for the Will-O-Wisp to burn that thing. Get a little residual damage going on. Because that's always pretty helpful to negate leftovers. Since now it's negated and you got a little extra burn damage on them, which could be key later. So I pretty much go into my Ferrothorn as death fodder because Ferrothorn's not really going to be able to do anything. And he gets a burn. Doesn't really matter because I would die to the Hail this turn. So not a big deal. Can't really say much about that. So now I go into my Tyranitar because I really, really need up some Stellar Rocks right now because there's way too much switching going on here. So I lay up my Stellar Rocks as he goes into Skarmory. And the way it's looking, since he switched Skarmory into my T-Tar, he's pretty much just going to use his scarring me as suicide. He's just gonna lay up his main layers of spikes until I kill him. So luckily I hit him with a fire blast, and that does a lot. So he's definitely fully physically defensive for it to do that much damage. He goes for another layer of spikes, and luckily I do hit this fire blast because 3 layers of spikes is really annoying. And even though I'm up 6-5 in this battle, my opponent definitely has the advantage because he has all the hazards up, and he's really controlling the tempo of the game. So I pretty much let T-Tar die. I don't know. I thought maybe he would overpredict perhaps, but he really has no reason to be honest. So I go into my Latios now, and right here I do decide to go for the Draco meteor, and I do miss, which it's pretty annoying. I mean, because I switch out because I don't want to take an ice shard, and I don't want to take extra hail damage on my Latios, so I switch into my Gliscor on the obvious ice shard. But I was kind of scared he would have predicted my Rotom switching, so it was kind of a 50-50 thing there. So now he goes for the HP fire. I'm not really sure as of why, but he does die to the burn, which is quite nice. And right here, my opponent is going to go for the ice shard here, and it's going to do a lot of damage because he life orb, but it won't quite kill. And I miss earthquake. So okay, now at first I thought this earthquake miss did matter because it does about 34% to 40% max. Now it doesn't exactly matter, but it would have probably eased a little prediction on my end because if his Mamoswine was at lower HP, he probably would have played a little less careful with it and just let it die. Which is why I go for the close combat here, and he predicts that really nicely and goes into his Chandelure. Now I switch out here and I'm gonna go into my Rotom, which I did not know got 2 KO by Shadow Wall because Chandelure has like awesome base special attack, which I had no idea of. So Chandelure is really a powerhouse. It 2-hit KOs my Rotom with no problem at all. So now I'm gonna go out into my Latios, and I'm just gonna hit him with a Dragon Pulse because I really don't want to miss Draco Meteor. I've been missing it all game, so definitely don't want to miss anything else. And now he goes into his Mamoswine, and unfortunately, since he is Life Orb, it will kill, but I'm pretty sure it would have killed if it was non-Life Orb anyway, because I was about half HP. So now I go into my Terrakion, which is Choice Scarf, but if I were Choice Banded, I probably wouldn't have still won because the -1 defense drops, but it is what it is. So his Gastrodon does go down. My Traken's at 56 HP, and he goes into his Mamoswine, and he will kill me with an Ice Shard, and that will definitely be the game because Terrakion is not going to live that. So definitely a good game. 1-0 in my opponent's favor. PokeaimMD, it was a really good game. Played well on both ends. Made a few mistakes that I wish you could go back on, but if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like for the Project Mosh Pit, and of course a comment because who doesn't like comments, right? And definitely check out my opponent and I's channels. We do upload pretty frequently, and if this video gets enough positive feedback, hey, maybe I'll have another battle to upload here for you guys. So until that day comes, like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.